What is today about? We know that the previous Rebbe asked the Rebbe Rashab the day after Yom Kippur. He asked him, what's the meaning of the time after Yom Kippur? And the Rebbe Rashab said, now we have to start doing teshuvah. We learned about that. We learned that it's precisely because of Yom Kippur bringing you face to face with Hashem, you realize how much more you need to do. Before you're face to face with Hashem, you think everything's hunky-dory, you're doing good. You come face to face with Hashem, then you realize, whoa, I got so much more to do. But now we are 2 days after Simchas Torah, we're after Shabbos Bereshis. What's the day after mean? What are we supposed to do with this day after? And this year it's a little bit more dramatic than other years. The other years, you go after Simchas Torah, and you're into Shabbos Bereshis. There's another week and the Shabbos Bereshis. But this year, we had Simchas Torah, Shabbos Bereshis, and we landed in the middle of Parshat Noach. Noach is the season of the flood. I say the season of the flood, not just the Torah portion of the flood, because Talmud says the month of Cheshvan is called the month of Bul. Bul means drops. It was originally called the month of Mabul, month of the flood, because the flood started in the month of Cheshvan. In fact, the 40 days of the flood every year, they would be more intense rain than the rest of the year, until the time of King Solomon, when that was King Solomon did something to stop that. But there was 40 days of something, some more intense rain for all that time, and then it became a regular day. Those became regular days. But the month of Cheshvan now, instead of becoming the month of Mabul, because it's the month when the flood started and the reenactment of somewhat of more rain, other years, now it's just called the month of rain, regular rain. But when you see regular rain, it's one thing. But there's something else. There's a torrential deluge of all kinds of worries that you go right into right after Simchas Torah. There's a song from a great Yiddish singer. Zurück zu der Welt, zurück zu der Geld. Ja gute Woche soll uns sein. Rabbi Ehrlich used to say in his song about Malava Malka, the feast we have after Shabbos, is the feast helps us because going back to the world, back to the money, oi. So that's why we wish each other a good Vach. We should keep the power and energy of Shabbos. And indeed, Hashem tells us after Shabbos, He announces to us, Al tira avdi Yaakov. Do not be afraid, my servant Yaakov. Yaakov is named the Jewish people. And Hashem tells us, don't be afraid. Some people have a custom of saying those words after Shabbos. They sing a song, Al tira avdi Yaakov. Our custom is we think it, we don't say it. We think the idea that Hashem promises us, don't be afraid. Because there is something that Yaakov will be afraid of. He's just been insulated in the whole holiday season, and now he goes out. Especially, as a custom is, we announce after Shabbos, Yaakov holach ladarko. Yaakov goes on his journey. Yaakov goes on his journey. What that means is that Yaakov was previously involved in all kinds of wonderful things, and now he's involved in something else. The whole different. It's not the same kind of language of. Dorothy ain't in Kansas anymore. You're not in Kansas. So what do? So the Torah actually highlights, and the Torah says, what are we calling Yaakov? We have two names to the Jewish people. We're called Yisrael, and we're called Yaakov. Yisrael means to be dominant, to be powerful. Yaakov means heal. Yaakov means to trick. There's a way that we are dominant and more powerful. There's a way that we are above the world. That's Shabbos. By a Jew, every Shabbos is different. Doesn't matter what level you're on, Shabbos is higher than the week. Even if in the lowest level spiritually, Shabbos is different. Shabbos is a different day than the rest of the week. Yaakov, on the other hand, Yaakov means to cheat. Why does Yaakov mean to cheat? Because Yaakov is about going into the physical world and pretending to be interested in the physical world for one reason, and actually having something completely different in mind. Like a spy. A spy goes to a city. It looks like the spy is there for the same reasons as everybody else. He learns a language, he gets a job, but the spy wants to get the secret out of the world. He talks to everyone, and he pretends like everybody else, but he has something else in mind. So too a Jew is involved in the world like everybody else. However, a Jew has something else completely in mind. He wants to get from the physical, not the physical itself. He wants to get the spiritual. He wants to get the sparks of Hashem in the food, in the drink, in all of his mundane activities, and all of his mundane engagements. So the word Yaakov also means heal, because a part of us that is commanded and able to be so enmeshed in the physical is to heal the lowest part of the soul. On the other hand, the letter Yud in Yaakov's name, Yud, is a reference to the very deepest part of the neshama. On the one hand, the part of us that gets involved in the physical, it's the lower part of the neshama. On the other hand, what empowers the neshama, what gives the neshama the power to be able to do that, is its source in the essence of the neshama. The essence in the neshama, in the language of the Alter Rebbe, does not want and cannot sever its bond with Hashem. So that level of attachment allows us to go and be engaged in the world, and yet to be able to not be afraid. As Hashem tells us, don't be afraid, my servant Yaakov. Yaakov goes on his journey. We're able to do that. Do it because of the divine assistance that Hashem gives us. Let me borrow this for a second, Rabbi. You got the right book for me, Rabbi. Thank you very much. The Torah tells us the reason we shouldn't be afraid, the reason we shouldn't be sad. It would seem we're supposed to be sad after Simchas Torah. We're supposed to be upset. But the Torah says that, on the contrary, just like after Yom Kippur, you have to start doing teshuvah. In a way, after Simchas Torah, you have to start being happy. As we learned one time, the Rebbe says that you don't make havdalah on happiness.
Teshuvah was created before the world was created.
Yeah. And what about Simcha? Simcha is beyond the world also. Simcha has no limitations. Simcha has no boundaries. So, why is there a greater Simcha now when we're engaged in the world? You think that now is, maybe don't be upset, but don't what do you mean not to be, what does it mean that we're telling a Jew, be happier? What are you being happy about? The answer is, Hashem's intent in creation is, what does Hashem want in creation? He wants a home in the lowest realm. He wants a home in the lowest place. That's why we know the story of Nadav and Avihu. Nadav and Avihu, they went further into the temple. They were loud. They drank wine, according to one opinion. They didn't want to get married, according to one other opinion. They didn't want to have children, according to another opinion. They weren't wearing the proper clothing, according to another opinion. All the opinions lead to the teaching of the Orach Chaim, the beautiful teaching of the Orach Chaim, who said, Nadav, in the beginning of Parshat Nadav and Avihu want to be closer to Hashem. Because they want to have such a great closeness with Hashem, so therefore they didn't want to get married. They were like a Ben Azai. That's about Ben Azai. Ben Azai says, Nafshi choshka v'Torah. I don't want to get married. My soul desires the Torah. They were on that level. It's not a path for most people, but because most people, after what Hashem says, Hashem in the Torah has a path for most people, which is He wants a home in the lowest realm. Let's say Naphtali. Let's say you had all the intent today. You haven't put on tefillin in a while. 10 days, you haven't put on tefillin. Let's say instead of putting on tefillin, you say, I want to take a day and meditate about tefillin. I want to take a day and experience tefillin. Experiencing tefillin is no mitzvah. And it's not you're pretending. You're really experiencing it. Say, I don't want to do the physical act right now of tefillin because it's going to divert me from my spiritual pursuit of what the meaning of it is. Torah says, bad idea. Why is it a bad idea? Because Hashem wants a mitzvah. Mitzvah has to be done with the right intent, 100%. However, the purpose of creation is Hashem wants a home in the lowest realm. He wants a home in the most physical, most earthy. A mitzvah without the right concentration, like a body without a soul. So you also have to have the concentration. You also have to put the meaning into it too, 100%. However, the goal of creation is Hashem wants a home in the lowest realm. And where is there a home in the lowest realm? Not in Simchas Torah. The home in the lowest realm is after Simchas Torah. The home in the lowest realm is when you're going back not to the physical flood of the time of Noach, but We're going back to the physical flood of your own, of Toli's flood. You're a flood of your Wells Fargo, Chase, whatever, whatever is your compass for your flood. I shouldn't use the word compass, because the compass for the flood, as we were discussing yesterday, Hashem tells every single Jew, as Hashem told Noach, go into the ark. What does the ark mean? You remember what the word ark means? Ark means words. The words of Torah, the words of prayer. The words of Torah, Teva, means boat. That Hashem tells every Jew, you have to immerse yourself in the words of Torah and the words of prayer, and that's what protects you from the flood. Yes, it's not an easy thing, but this is the ultimate desire of Hashem. He wants a home in the lowest realm. And therefore, one second. Therefore Hashem gave us the holiday season. The purpose of the holiday season is in order to give us the power to go afterwards on the journey of making the world a home for Hashem. Let's say it this way. It says in the Talmud, not allowed to eat before you pray. The main time of eating is after you pray. Why? When you eat, you're supposed to eat for a higher intent. Let's put the cards on the table. There is a Chassidic perspective and there's a natural human perspective. The natural human perspective is like this. There's a world. There are people in the world. It's our world. We're here. Hashem comes and He says, you know what? On Mount Sinai, He makes the event of the giving of the Torah. And Hashem says, from now on, keep Shabbos. Now on, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. So, Hashem is entering our domain. We're the physical people. We're the human beings. And Hashem is telling us, I want all this happening. So let's say there's something that He doesn't talk about. Hashem doesn't say exactly what He wants. So who has the chazaka? Who has the assumed responsibility of ownership? We do. Because He came onto our turf. That's a not Chassidic perspective. The Chassidic perspective is the opposite. There is a reality. The reality is Hashem. The physical reality is only a reality to our eyes, and the way it seems a separate entity is a lie. The real reality of the world is Hashem creating it every second. That's what it is. And therefore, Chassidim say, whatever you're not allowed to have, of course you can't have. And even things you could have, you don't need. Whatever you can't have, you don't need. You're not allowed to have. And even what you could have, you don't need. In other words, the chazaka, the assumed ownership goes to Hashem, not to us. But in order to get that perspective and to be able to engage in the physical world and to say this is for Hashem instead of it being for me, that's what the holiday season is. Just like every day, our ability to elevate the physical world comes through davening. Our davening every day is what empowers us to elevate the physical world. In other words, when you're davening, you're trying to change the orientation you have in the physical world. Your natural orientation of the physical world is the physical world is the owner. Hashem is coming to try and take something back from it. So we have to give ownership to the physical world. And so you can't really eat for the right reasons and drink for the right reasons and do everything with the right intent because you are in the physical world. Davening is meant to even up the ante here and to make you have the perspective and the feeling that the real reality is Hashem's reality. And therefore, when you're eating and you're drinking, you're like, what is it about? Mm-hmm. But our perspective, our natural perspective is whatever you're not allowed to have, I don't know. You sure you can't have it? Whatever you could have, of course we could have. It's ours. That's our nat. So in order for us to change things around, Hashem gives us davening every day. And in a year, Hashem gives us a month of davening. The month of Tishrei is a month full of holidays. The month afterwards has no holidays. What's the idea? Hashem empowers us for the month of Tishrei to engage in the physical. There was a Chassidic man, I don't know which Chassidus he belonged to, but he came to his Rebbe, and he was a little bit dejected after the holiday was over, and his Rebbe said to him, "Will you say on Simchas Torah, Ata v'chartanu? You have chosen us from all nations. You have brought us close to you. Ata v'chartanu, right? We sing a song about it. We dance with it. We love it. And the end of the holiday on Ma'ariv, what do we say? Ata choinan tanu. You have given us the wisdom to be able to engage in the physical and yet to still remain attached to your reverence. So the tzaddik told his chassid, it's the same Ata. It's the same you. The same Ata in this song, Ata v'chartanu. You got it, baby. The same Ata is also an Ata choinan tanu. Also the same one who tells us to get involved in the physical world. That's the same one. However, in order to be able to maintain your integrity in the physical world, you have to have the time that you're dancing with Ata v'chartanu. If you don't dance with Ata v'chartanu, you're not going to make an Ata choinan tanu. It's the same Hashem, it's the same God, but we're not the same. We have to have a time when Hashem gives us the full holidays. Ata v'chartanu mi'ikolo amim. And then after the holiday is over, and now it's Ata choinan tanu, you could tell that in the language of the Rebbe, here are feet that just came from Simchas Torah. Here are feet that just made this happen. I'll tell you guys one more thing. It's good, it's good. Right after Simchas Torah, we read the Torah portion of Bereshis. Simchas Torah is a celebration of our return to Hashem. Yom Kippur is when we return to Hashem. Everyone comes closer to Hashem Yom Kippur. And it's like the son comes back to his father. The celebration of this is Simchas Torah. Simchas Torah celebrates, just like Shavuot celebrates the first tablets, as we were discussing yesterday, Simchas Torah celebrates the second tablets, right? The second tablets were given on Yom Kippur. When do we celebrate the first tablets? On Shavuos. When do we celebrate the second tablets? On Simchas Torah. So that's why this celebration is different than the holiday of Shavuos. The holiday of Shavuos is a celebration of the tzaddik, of the perfect way of serving Hashem. The celebration of Simchas Torah is a celebration of the Baal Shuvah, of the return to Hashem. So, what's the difference in a tzaddik and a Baal Shuvah? A tzaddik, he merely reveals his soul energy in the service of Hashem. A tzaddik reveals the divine energy in the physical. A Baal Shuvah does something novel. He turns a sin into a mitzvah. His sin turns into mitzvahs. A Baal Shuvah takes the evil itself and makes it positive. A tzaddik serves Hashem with his divine soul. A Baal Shuvah does something more. He put so much more force and energy in service of Hashem because he was so distant before. So now he has returned to Hashem with such more flavor and such. It's his own flavor that he put into it. So this is the idea of the end of Parshat Zos HaBracha. Parshat Zos HaBracha concludes with the breaking of the second tablets. On this, the conclusion of the beginning of Zos HaBracha talks about Mount Sinai. But the conclusion, the main point of Zos HaBracha is Asher Shibarta, that Moshe Rabbeinu broke the 10 Commandments. And why? Because he wanted us to reach the level of tshuva, he wanted us to reach the level of return to Hashem. And then, with our own efforts, we come close to Hashem, and Hashem gave us, not just Hashem gave us the second tablets, but the Torah says that if there only would have been the first tablets, we wouldn't have been able to work hard to understand the Torah. The whole concept of effort in Torah study was something that was given to us for the second tablets. With the first tablets, it says,
This one?
yeah, exactly. If Hashem gave us the first tablets only, and we wouldn't have sinned, no nation would be able to control us. There wouldn't be a concept of effort in Torah. There wouldn't be any need for effort. No, just like no nation in the world can control us, so in ourselves, we would just get the Torah, like we just absorb it like a tzaddik. It wouldn't be any friction and back and forth and toiling in Torah. It wouldn't exist. Okay. So, the second tablets bring us toil in Torah. Second tablets bring us return to Hashem. Both novel things that we accomplish. That's why the Simchas Torah is not when the Torah was given. That's what God does. Simchas Torah is what we do, that we return to Hashem. So now, after we finish Simchas Torah, and we finish the last words of the Torah, Le'eni Kol Yisrael, about Moshe breaking the tablets, what's the next thing we read right away? The next thing we read is Bereshis Bar Elokim. What's the idea of Bereshis Bar Elokim? In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. But what's the message there? The message is we become a partner with Hashem in creation. We add something to creation. When two people are partners, real partnership means that each partner does something equal to the other partner. A tzaddik doesn't have that partnership with Hashem. Because a tzaddik is not really creative. A tzaddik is not creative. How do you say creative in Russian? Creative. Yeah. A tzaddik is just doing the natural things. A Baal Tshuva, he has to do something new. Hashem creates the world. What does a tzaddik do? The tzaddik just reveals his inner strength. The Baal Tshuva, he uses something inner within himself to come closer to Hashem, and he takes something which Hashem says about a dainle hanyale, makes it hanyale. There are some things in the world Hashem says, I don't want them. I create them for a purpose, I don't like them. And the Baal Tshuva takes those sins, which Hashem says, dainle hanyale, those are not things I want, and he turns those things themselves into things Hashem wants. Turns the sins into mitzvahs. So he becomes like Hashem, becomes a partner with Hashem in creation. That's why we read Bereshis right after this bracha, because it's Tshuva that makes us a partner with Hashem in creation. And that makes the heaven and earth to be a different kind of heaven and earth. It says when Mashiach will come, there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. What that means is, we'll feel in the heaven and earth that Hashem Elokei Yisro Malchus Kol Mashal. We'll feel in the heaven and earth that Hashem is the king. That's the addition. That's the change in the world that happens after Simchas Torah. We feel it's a different kind of world. It's a world that we feel in the world that this is. We feel the godliness in the world. I'll tell you one more thing. I'll let you guys go. There's a beautiful teaching in the Friedrich Rebbe. Friedrich Rebbe says this. I don't know if I shared this with you. I probably did, but it's been a long yontif. It says that when the Jewish people left Egypt, they came to a place called Sukkos. After Sukkos, they came to a place called Esam. After Esam, they came to the splitting of the Red Sea. So the previous Rebbe said, leaving Egypt is Ne'ilah. Spiritual leaving Egypt is Ne'ilah. By Ne'ilah, we say to Hashem, I'm ready to give my life to you. That's the highest level of attachment to Hashem. That's the complete leaving all limitations and boundaries. That's how we get to the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot comes to us through Ne'ilah. As the Jewish people left Egypt, what's first the place they went to? From Ramses to Sukkot. Ramses, the place they left from, Ramses stands for Ra Moses. Evil has been vanquished. Evil has been eradicated. Or, another way of looking at the word, Ra'am Seis. The tumul of Yom Kippur, Seis. It took care of the Seis. What's Seis? Seis equals to 120. There are 120 combinations of Hashem's name Elokim. 120 kinds of concealment of godliness. So the tumul of Yom Kippur took care of the Seis, all the concealment of godliness. And that's how we have the holiday of Sukkot. There's no concealment. From the holiday of Sukkot, we come to Esam. What's Esam mean? Esam stands for Aleph Tam. Aleph means the highest level, the number one level, Tam, sincerity. What's the highest level of sincerity? Avremo. What's the highest level of sincerity? Dancing with the Torah. That's exactly. That's the highest level of sincerity. And once you have Avremo's highest level of sincerity, which within sincerity itself, that's the highest level. Avramo, you're in the highest level. You know that. Yeah. One, the Rebbe is general, right? That's what I told you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Once you're at the highest level of sincerity, you're dancing with the Torah, then you come to split the sea. What's splitting the sea mean? You go back to the physical world, but it doesn't seem to you the same thing. You have to see, it doesn't seem so bleak anymore. It doesn't seem so dark anymore. You have to split the sea. You have to see what it really is. It's a new heaven and new earth. Just like you did tshuva and yourself made something new happen to yourself, that also causes Mashiach to come. And if Chas V'Shalom Mashiach is delayed, the world still doesn't seem the same. It's not the same world. There's a Kriyas Yamsuf. The splitting of the sea, the splitting of the concealment. The water covers the ocean bed. So in your life, the physical, natural reality covers the reality of Hashem. Your service of Hashem through Yom Kippur, through Sukkot, through Simchas Torah, it splits the sea for you. So you feel Hashem Elokei Yisro, you feel it's a new heaven, new earth. You feel God's assistance what you're doing. Bereshis B'Elokim, it's a new world, and therefore you taka there's a flood. But you're different. You're different, and the world's different. There was a different world also.